Hey guys, how's it going? It's Thang. Welcome to another build guide video. So today in this video, we're looking at the Witch Doctor Fire Spirit Barrage build for patch 2.4.3. Now, I'm currently on the PTR testing out and having fun with it, and it's actually really great. So that means that anything that I talk about in here can change before I hit live server. So if it changes a lot, I'm making a video. If it doesn't, if it's a minor change, just compensate, and that's about it, okay? So the Fire Barrage uses fire, and it's actually more of a manual channeling versus the cold version where you just summon Manitou and just throws up his hand and it does everything. Fire is actually much more powerful than the cold damage, but at the same time a little bit more fragile in the sense that you actually have to channel everything into your target and then it just explodes. As you can see the demo video, the clips that I'm showing you, it's actually pretty easy. Even if, let's say, you were to just rapidly hit your Spirit Barrage, everything just goes kaboom, 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 kaboom. Anyways, so how Spirit Barrage work is because of this recycled, or given brand new power called the Barber right here. So what that does is, instead of it dealing direct damage, your Spirit Barrage now accumulates on the target. When you stop casting it, it explodes for X amount of damage. So 250% is max of the accumulated damage to all enemies within 15 yards. So think of it as Exploding Palm without having to kill any targets. You're just pretty much creating Exploding Palm everywhere and it just constantly explodes. Well, I mean, if you are not channeling. Anyways, enjoy the little clip and we're gonna jump into stats bar, gears, gems, Kanai Cube, skills, Paragon levels, and everything else in between, okay? I'll see you very soon.
The Rift Guardian has found you.
Alright, so welcome back. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that little clip. So I really enjoyed playing this build itself, whether it's fire or cold, whichever version you want to play. It's actually really fun for me. It gives you a better, different experience versus like Helltooth Harness and Jade Harvester. But besides that, let's get into the stats priority first. So the main stat priority we need is going to be critical hit chance, critical hit damage, area plus damage, fire plus damage, and of course lastly is Spirit Barrage plus damage. So those are the main 5 that you have to get. Everything else is of course secondary to survivability. Okay, so we're going to jump into the gears. The first thing we need is going to be the Legacy of Nightmare Rings right here, the Wailing Host, and Litany of Undaunted. The set bonus is, while this is your only set item bonus, every ancient item you have equipped increases your damage dealt by 100% and reduces your damage taken by 4%. So potentially you can have 1300% increase in damage because there are 13 slots right here, so you can do 1300 as maximum, okay? So that is the most important piece of right there before we get started. Okay, so next one is right here. These are all the fire plus damage gears that we will need. It is going to be quite difficult to get them. The first one is Andriel's Visage. I pretty much butchered that name. So the fire damage actually can reroll into any other damage as well. So it could be poison or cold or whatever. But we do need it to be fire. So it's gonna be really tough for you to roll it into an ancient item. So this is one of them that we do need. We do also need a socket. So this isn't the best one that I've gone, but you know what? It's better than nothing. The next one is going to be the Mage Fist right here, which is very easy. Fire plus damage is always going to be on there, but rolling at 20% is going to be hard, especially in an ancient item. Luckily I got that. Next one is going to be the Cinder Coat right here. Okay, so fire it'll always have fire plus damage 15 to 20%, and also reduces the resource cost of fire skills by X amount, so 23 to 30%. I got the lower end of the stick. It sucks for me though, well, whatever. This is good because we need to cut the resource of our Spirit Barrage as much as we can so that we can have the Aquila Caress, so that we have more toughness. Next one is going to be Swampland Waders. Yes, the legendary power is there, but we don't really care for that legendary power. These are still going to be the best pair of pants, period, because it does have, oh my god, it has code, because that was from the other build that I did. But usually you want to reroll the element into fire, so don't look at that one. Make sure that is fire, not cold, okay? I forgot to reroll that, but whoopsie. Anyways, next is going to be your illusory boots right here, which will allow you to move unhindered through all the mobs, so you're not gonna get stuck through anything. The shoulders, really there is no really good one except for the Skeleton King's Pauldrons, which you need to do Act 1 bounty to get. So hopefully you can get an ancient one of that. So that one I'm going to show you right here. Skeleton King's Pauldrons will allow you to, oh my god, where is it? Give me one moment. Here we go. Sorry, Pauldron of the Skeleton King. When receiving fatal damage, there is a chance that you are instead restored to 25% of maximum life and cause nearby enemies to flee in fear. So that's the best one that we need to get if we can get it. Mantle of Channeling does not have Spirit Barrage in there, so there's no point in actually using that one. I wish it did, so we can actually use it to increase our damage done and decrease in our damage taken, but unfortunately, nope, not that one. Okay. All right, so for our necklace, we do want to have the Hellfire Amulets. Hopefully, you guys can get an ancient one with the right passive. One of the passive you can get is one gain gravel injustice, or creeping death, bad medicine, rush of essence, or confidence ritual. Those are the ones that you want to get on the Hellfire Amulets. Luckily, I got Grave of Injustice right here. It's not the best one, but it's still better than nothing. Our belt is going to be the Witching Hour, because we do want to increase in our damage because of the critical hit damage and increase in attack speed right there. Okay, so for the next two pieces, they do synergize with each other. This is going to be Lakumba's Ornament right here. Reduce all damage taken by 6% for each stack of Soul Harvest you have. And then we do have the Sacred Harvester right here. Soul Harvest now stacks up to 10 times. Now you need these two to actually survive in higher grade rifts, and unfortunately they are the only two items that you really need for survivability, really. If you don't have these two items, you're going to drop dead really quick. Okay, so that's why we have those two. Now the last one is going to be your mojo, and this is really up to you which mojo you pick. I always love Henry Perquisition. I get it now. I get it. I actually totally get it now. Perquisition right here. I always thought that was prerequisition. Anyway, Perquisition. Henry's right here. So first time an enemy deals damage to you, reduce that damage by 77%, well, X amount 60 to 80%, and charm the enemy for 3 seconds. You can use that. If you don't want to use that, you can use Gazing Demise right here. Spirit Barrage gains the Phantasm rune. Each active Phantasm increases the damage of Spirit Barrage by X amount, so 40 to 50%. So you can have a total of 4 out at the same time, which means that increased by 200%. And that's actually pretty good if you want to do more damage, okay? Lastly is going to be Vile Hive right here. Locust Swarm gains the effect of Pestilence and deals X amount. We don't really care about the X amount of damage that it increases because it does nothing, but we do want Pestilence because we are using Locust Swarm, and we can actually swap Pestilence from our own skill to something else, and I'm going to show that very soon. Okay, so those are the three mojos that you want to get. It's up to you, whichever one works best for you. So if you want more damage, go for Gazing Demise. If you want more toughness, go with Vile Hive, and also Henry's I can't pronounce this name, so I'm sorry. This one. And for your Kunai Cube, where we want the Barber right here because it does have a min and max. You do want the maximum of exploding damage as much as you can, so we do want to have the Barber in our Kunai Cube. Next is Aquila Caress for our toughness, so we always want This at 90 to 100% at all times, period. And luckily, we do have a passive to help us regain mana constantly, so no worries about that. And lastly is Ring of Emptiness. You deal 300% increase to damage to increase to enemies affected by both your Haunt and Locust Swarm. So when we have Haunt and Locust Swarm on, enemies will take 300% extra damage, okay? Lastly is going to be our gems. We want green gems into... I like Henry's, I'm sorry. Green gems into our weapon always, and then orange gems, topazes, into our other sockets, and lastly a purple gem into our helm to increase our health right there. So higher grade rift, over a million HP. And then lastly is going to be our legendary gems. Now we're using esoteric alteration to increase our toughness. In higher grade rift, you will require to have this to actually survive. Next is going to be Bane of the Trap, very simple, and then Bane of the Stricken, very simple. You guys know why. I don't need to explain that to you, okay? And that's it. Alright, so for our Paragon levels, everything into movement speed right here, because we do want to increase our movement speed to 25%. So match these with your boots so you have 25%. Everything else into intelligence. If you don't really want, you can use vitality, but you'll be like really killing slowly. Next is offensiveness. You want critical chance, critical damage, and attack speed, and then cooldown reduction last. Defensiveness, all resist, life regen, armor, and then life. Utility, area damage, or resource cost reduction if you want to. One or the other. Life per hit next, and then gold find. Okay, so that is your Paragon level. Alright, so for our skills, so this is going to be a little bit fun. For Haunt, we're going to be using Poison Spirit. We don't really care about the damage of Haunt itself, but it's actually rune passive. Haunt's enemies take 20% more damage from your attacks. That's why we want that. Soul Harvest with Languish, so that one, we don't die from things. So this is more of survivability right here. And also increase in our intelligence, which means increase in our damage. So this does 2-in-1 kind of thing. Always keep this as 10 stack as best as you can, okay? Spirit Walk with Jaunt, so that sometimes when we need to stand still to channel the Spirit Barrage so we get a bigger explosion, we can press this for 3 seconds, channel for 3 seconds if we need to, okay? So that's why we have that, and it's also to run and escape from things. Piranha Nado to increase the damage by affected enemies by 15%. So with this and this is quite a lot already. And then we're going to be using Spirit Barrage with Wells of Souls, the fire rune. So this one is fun. Bombard an enemy with 4 Spirit Bolts that deal a total of 600 weapon damage as fire. So there will be 4 bolts when you're channeling into the single enemy that you are clicking on or have your mouse over. And then with the fire rune itself, an additional 3 spirits seek out other enemies and deal 65 weapon damage as fire. So that's multiplied by the other fire damage that we have. So the main Spirit Barrage that we have is going to be channeled, right? While the other 3, so you only have like 5. Well, no, you only have 5 streams. So the other 3 will seek out other mobs. You can see right there. You have the other ones going other ways and other stuff, right? So you have one stream going to your, I think, left-hand side. That's the main stream because we're a mouse pointer. But you can see other streams that are going everywhere else. That is where it's seeking other mobs so that it can destroy. So the ones that are seeking other mobs are not being channeled, so they're gonna explode when they hit the mobs because it's not being channeled. So until you lift your finger off of the key binding that is with Spirit Barrage, their mainstream will keep channeling and accumulate all that damage into that one mob, that little single bomb, right? Until you let go, and then it just goes boom, and everything just dies. Anyways, okay, so lastly is going to be with Locust Swarm now. So this is important for you. If you were to use the Vow Hive, you would actually be using Cloud of Insects right here. Enemies affected deal 25% reduced damage. So that's why when you use Vow Hive, it synergizes with your Locust Swarm with Clouds of Insects, so that way you can get reduced damage, which means more survivability for you. If you use the other 2, you will be using Pestilence so that you can spread around Locust Swarm as fast as you can, because you want everything affected with Locust Swarm and Haunt, so that way things just die faster because of the ring of emptiness. Okay, so that's really up to you. So you have to keep that in mind. So that is all our skills. Not only that, the second our passive skill, because of how Locust Swarm is, because it is a poison damage. And it spreads around, right? We want to pair it up with bad medicine right here. When you deal poison damage to an enemy, its damage is reduced by 20% for 5 seconds. So, yes, that's why we want to pair it up with that one. Now, if you don't want to use bad medicine right here, you can use Swampland Attunement and get like, what, 2 billion toughness all around if you got like a lot of things. That's up to you. Or you can use like Spirit Vessel. That's up to you as well. But let's go into our other passive. We have Confidence Ritual right here. You deal 25% additional damage to the enemies within 20 yards. Rush of Essence is always going to be required, period. The reason for that is because whenever we use Haunt or Soul Harvest, Spirit Barrage, or Spirit Walk, we gain back 100 mana over 10 seconds. I think this stacks up as well. So that's why we want to use this, and this has to be always, because if we were to use Spirit Barrage without Rush of Essence right here, our mana will go down to 0, and that means that we will never have the Aquila Caress right here up, which means our toughness is gonna suck like a bitch. Yes. Anyways, last is going to be Creeping Death. Your Haunt, Locust Swarm, and the damage amplification from Piranhas lasts almost forever. So even though, let's say, bad medicine right here, for I think this synergizes with this, which is synergizes with this, so that means the damage reduction is always going to be there. So that is our skills, okay? Okay, so last leaf is going to be our follower. I'm going to be using the Templar for survivability, and he heals me at the same time. You need his Immortal Relic, the Thunder Fury right here, so that it reduces damage there. Well, the mob's attack speed and movement speed. The S of Johan right here, chance to pull everything in on hit, and slow them by 80%. And we also have the Oculus ring right here, so you yourself have to stand inside that ring to get that damage boost. Okay, so it's a min and max 70 to 85%, whichever one. Is still huge. It doesn't matter if this is ancient or not or whatever, as long as it has the maximum, which is 85%. You just stand on it and you channel, or you tap, and everything just dies. Okay, and that's why we have that. And lastly, it's actually supposed to be Wayward Ring, but I don't have it. I have Unity for some odd reason. Wayward Ring would actually synergize with the Thunder Fury here, which would actually stun things. And Shield, I actually don't know. I don't care for Shield. For skills, it's Heal, Loyalty, Charge, and this last one's up to you. You can use Guardian, so when you're in trouble, he'll charge and heal you back. Or you can use Inspire to regenerate your resource if you want to, but I never really found the need for it, really. It's more of survivability, which is a cheat death kind of thing right here with Guardian. So that's up to you. Now, if you feel like you don't need the Templar, you can always use the Scoundrel right here for his Anatomy, which increases your critical hit chance by 1.8% for you and your Scoundrel. That's really up to you, okay? Alright, so how to play this is really easy. I'm going to do a Greater Rift 85 because when I talk, I die really quick. So please don't judge me. I could do much higher, like Greater Rift 90, 93 if I needed to. But anyways, let's go into the Greater Rift and I'll show you how to play this one. So I actually have Valhive on with Cloud of Insect. So when we get in, all we really do is Insect. And that. Haunt. There we go. See, we use Spirit Walk. Let go. Things die. Very easily like that. That's all you do. That's all you really do. And that's how you pretty much play the game, because it's super califragistically, espialidociously easy. And you're pretty much hunting for like huge mob section like this. Haunt yourself. Water. Cloud of Insects. So it just spreads around. Haunt. And channel. Kaboom. See? That's it. That's all you do. Yars! Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, a thumbs up would definitely be appreciated. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below, because I'm gonna fucking die right now. Trust me, I'm gonna die. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to press subscribe. Love ya. Bye. Mwah. Oh god. How the fuck do I play this game?